Hiya, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and I have a custom 15-year anniversary card that I'm going to make for you today. So I'm starting off with my box of goodies. This was formerly a chocolate box, and I use it to store a bunch of panels that are comprised of all different techniques, different card panels that can be used this way or that, and just haven't been turned into a card yet. So I am on a mission in this video to make a card for my husband for our 15th wedding anniversary. So I'm just kind of flipping through. I don't really have an exact plan in mind, but I know that I want to customize it for our 15-year anniversary. So I grab a few of these panels here. I'm thinking they'll kind of work together, or at least that's my thought initially, but I'm just kind of flipping through to see what my options are. I have embossed, stenciled, hand painted, stamped, you name it. I've got all the things. So this is where I kind of store all this stuff that just hasn't been turned into a card yet, but can help me kind of cut some of the process out of the card making process, if you will, and kind of save some time. So this one I was considering, and lots of different options I could have gone, but I'll show you a photo in the moment here to show you the direction I ended up deciding to go. So this, you can see, is an embossed panel. I did customize it with the 15 years, and I will show you the other steps. Here's the inside with some more die cutting, but overall I was able to save some time with having this piece ready to go. At this point I was still thinking like, oh, should I, cut the 15 out of one of these panels, or it was exhausting my brain. It was too many options, so I just decided to keep it simple. I didn't actually end up using this. I was going to originally use the Happy Anniversary from that really cool scrapbook set, but I decided to just keep it simple, guys. So as you'll see, I didn't end up using those other panels. I'm just kind of debating still at this point, figuring out. And I thought, that's not really going to show enough of the design to make it worth it. Didn't really want to cut into that panel. This, I didn't feel like it was going to be glamorous enough. So I decided to go with this really cool holographic scrap of cardstock. I felt it went really well with the silvery, kind of shimmery splatter that I already had. Now, this would have been embossed with the Altenew Mod Squares 3D, one of my absolute favorites, and I will link all the available products in the video description box below. But here I know I want to poach just this word years. So this is a simple strip from Tailored Expressions, and I'm just kind of snipping off the bit I don't need, and I'm just going to use the years portion, which is white heat embossed on black, in tandem with this 15 die cut. Now, I have these alphabet dies from scrapbook.com, and these are really fun. They're super fiddly and thin, which can make them a little bit fussy, but they're super cool because you can kind of cram a lot in there. Whereas if I were to try and spell HUBS with, those big Altenew die cuts, then it would have been a lot more space that were taken up. So I ran these through off screen through my die cutting machine and tried to pull these up as delicately as I could. Like I said, a little bit fiddly, but I ultimately end up using those on the inside of the card. So I call my husband Hubs often, and I decided to do amazing Hubs on the inside of this card. So I decided to grab this stamp set because there's the word amazing, and I will use that stamping in tandem with this holographic die cut hubs. So then really it's just a matter of putting it all together. I'm just going to open this up in my MISTI and stamp this down in a similar color blue. I decided to find one that was pretty close to that navy blue cardstock that I had on the front of the card. But I'm just going to condition that stamp with my hand because I haven't used it before, stamp it with the blue, and then ultimately, as you saw, I'm going to put the little HUBS die cuts on the inside of the card. So this was a fun way to really customize this for our specific anniversary. I decided to do the amazing HUBS because it kind of tied in with the gift that I got him. 15 years is the crystal anniversary, so I wasn't really sure what to get him. However, he had recently tried, as a special treat at a friend's house, he had tried some peated whiskey from Scotland. So I thought, I can get him a Glencairn glass out of crystal, and I actually had it customized to say Amazing Hubs, established 2008, because that's the year we got married. So I thought that was fun, and then I got him a nice bottle of whiskey to go along with it, and that was his anniversary gifts. So the card kind of tied in with the gift, and it's just really fun. You guys know I love embossing. That never gets old to me. It never loses its wow factor, no matter how many times I make cards with embossed panels. But I'm just going to use some tape runner here just to attach this directly to the front of the card. And there's no border in this case. It's just going to cover the full card front. And this is US A2 size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm pressing this down, and then I will attach the little pieces parts. Now, since it's HUBS and I had to go a little bit extra, I decided to pop up that 15 and give it some even dimension and a little kind of pop of color if you look at it from the side. So these are little scraps of sheets of adhesive backed foam. So I'm going to die cut the 15 out of some of this just to kind of create that extra layer and give it some dimension and pop it off the front of the card. So again, I'm going to get the 1 and the 5 out again, and I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine off screen, and then I just simply need to liquid glue the holographic layers down with my Barely Arts glue right on top of these little colored foam die cuts. And then when it's dry and ready to go, I can just peel the backing off the foam, and then they're just basically glorified stickers. So easy peasy, nice even dimension. Not that I really need to worry about that because I'm going to be hand delivering it, right? It's not like I'm going to mail it downstairs to my husband in his little office, right? So it didn't really matter, but it was that extra little step to give it some pizzazz, if you will, and a little other pop of color. So I'm just lining this up with my T-square because simple design like this, you got to make sure it's even. So I'm just pulling off that backer and then lining up the 1 and the 5 onto the front of the card and making sure that's nice and straight. And then I will press that down, and then I'm going to liquid glue the little years sentiment strip on the front of it. I quickly realized once I do this that there's a bit of gappage underneath the Y, so I need to try and fiddle and take it off and try and get a little piece of foam tape in there just to support it because I didn't want it to be saggy. I suppose I could have left it like that a little bit more over, but anyway, we made it work. So I think I just popped it off and then added that little bit underneath and re-glued it again after I fiddled for about 5 minutes trying to get this sorted. I should have probably thought of that first, but hey, that's how we learn, right? Anyway, I'm just going to get this stuck eventually and remove the backer and liquid glue this back down to finish the sentiment on the front of the card. See, look, it's giving me serious trouble, guys. Serious trouble. And then I think at this point I realized it wasn't the same height as the foam sheet, so then I think I had to go in and do it again and add another layer. It was struggle bus. It truly was. But here I have these gorgeous bright silver sequins in like 3 different sizes. So I'm going to do a little smattering of those across the front of the card again, just to give it more shimmery goodness. And again, it ties in with the splatter and with the holographic, and I'm obsessed with this card. Even my daughter told me, she's like, I think that's the coolest card you've ever made. So I kind of really like it. I mean, it's really super simple, but it's got that wow factor, right? I mean, you let me know in the comments. Do you think this is like crazy cool? I think this is one of my favorites ever. Kind of with my daughter on this. So, yeah. Anyway, our anniversary has passed. He liked it. Newsflash, he liked it. So that's good. And he liked the gift. So I hope you enjoyed the card. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.